They say that pseudoscience is science without substance, and if you see an organization that has two or more of these things, you can pretty much label them pseudoscience. Anyway, I asked her point blank, is anyone trying to influence the legislation? And she goes, oh, well, what do you mean? And I go, well, is anybody trying to influence the National Park Service to say not to insult this project? Well, I guess that's a really good concern. And then they sort of changed the subject and went around to something else. Now, that would be called equivocation. That means you're not answering the question. You answer the question with another question. Okay, how much of that do we get? And it is a logical fallacy. Now, this is really interesting. I'm not a professor. I was a philosophy major. I took two incredibly good classes called logic, inductive and deductive. What I'm going to be talking about tonight is deductive logic and logical fallacy, where your arguments start falling apart. We'll also be talking about pseudoscience a little bit, because they both go along with each other. Anyway, pseudoscience, it's like all of these things just move together. As I'm talking to Julia, she understands this problem. She knows that people just aren't telling the truth about this thing. You go out and you tell people there's skyrocketing cancer rates out here. Well, prove it. Oh, prove it. Okay, what is that? That is refusal to release data. You're cherry picking your data, aren't you? And this is one of the things I brought up with Julia. I said, look at this. She goes, well, what's the problem? What do you mean lies? And I said, well, a lot of them have a basis of truth in them. Like the one that you've heard, there were 1,000 samples taken for radioactive materials in Area 4. 1,000 samples. 500 of them showed contamination above background. Oh my God, we're all going to die. And that's as far as it goes. Now, what is the context of that conversation? There were only 10 samples that were taken that were above a suburban residential standard. 10 samples. And all of those samples were in areas that both the DOE and DTSC had both agreed were clearly contaminated and needed to be cleaned up. So it's like, whoa, this is a spin. Is it a lie? Is it a spin? Are you using false data? Well, the data's good, but it's incomplete. That's, oh gosh, there are just so many of these things. That would be cherry picking the data that you want. Cherry picking is one of the big signs of pseudoscience or a pseudoscience group. Have you heard of conspiracies? Did you know that a lot of people don't think we went to the moon? Really? That's a conspiracy theory, and it's a conspiracy of silence. Now, at one point in time, there really was a conspiracy going on with SSFL. They weren't talking to nobody about nothing. Okay, and yeah, there was a good reason. There were national security issues. We were developing intercontinental ballistic missiles, and we were working on nuclear power. We can't get the Russians to know what we're doing. So yeah, there was that conspiracy. But when they opened up and they started talking again, the conspiracy language never changed. It wasn't like, oh good, they're not conspiring anymore, they're actually giving us data. It's like, no, they're still trying to get out of it. It's still a grand conspiracy. Did you notice that, how many of you saw Dr. Mack's report on cancer in the neighborhood? Several people did, okay. Gave a good report, a lot of facts, a lot of data. Afterwards, during the Q&A, he was completely attacked. They did not attack his data. Not one person said what you put on that screen is false. Everybody attacked his character. Everybody said he was a creep because he accepted money from an oil company, and he falsified this information for Beverly Hills High School. And he denied the whole thing. But here's the deal. It's a very effective strategy, because now you're not talking about issues. You're talking about personalities, and this guy has to turn around and defend himself. They're called ad hominem attacks. Ad hominem means you don't attack the data, you attack the guy. That happens a lot. It happens a lot to me. And I can't reply to it. This is the way I'm replying to a lot of these problems. Is there anybody in this room that doesn't feel that SSFL needs to be cleaned up? I think the place does need to be cleaned up. This is one of the things that I told Ms. Brownlee. Nobody doesn't want this place cleaned up. Everybody
saying, that other group doesn't want to clean up. And it's pretty much not true.